Hey there, campers. Welcome to the second edition of what I am calling the Basic Bitch Liberal Vlog. And I'm calling it that because I kind of want to explore and articulate some of my beliefs, why I call myself a liberal, and this is going to be an ongoing project. And I'm certainly not a liberal in the 18th century classical liberal sense, well, not only anyway, but also in the contemporary American sense. I'm a New Deal, Great Society liberal, a progressive liberal, but not really a leftist. And there's a lot of conflict between liberals and leftists, and there are definitely some leftist points of view I agree with. I like a lot of what leftists have to say, and I like a lot of what liberals have to say. I don't fully commit to either of those factions, and that lack of commitment is why I know I'm a liberal, because liberals are by definition less ideologically committed, and I think that's a good thing. I don't believe in too much ideological commitment, because I believe in constantly thinking for yourself and constantly questioning everything. That's what liberals believe. That's probably why liberals are so annoying. But liberals and leftists are divided on many important questions, but the one I want to talk about is the most important. Is Donald Trump funny? Not good or wise or just or virtuous, because obviously he is none of those things. But is he funny? Does he make you laugh? A lot of people have said he is all but impossible to satirize because he is so kind of transparently absurd in and of himself. And I could quibble with that, but I think that's another video. Believe it or not, this is actually a divide between liberals and leftists, because I think it's also related to who hates him more as a person. And I think liberals hate him more as a person because they see him as uniquely bad, whereas leftists tend to see him more as a symbol of capitalist decadence and institutional corruption, systemic failure. Again, I see both sides. I think he is a product of a sick society, and I think he's uniquely bad. So it's usually leftists who pay Trump the compliment, quote-unquote, of saying he's funny. And I am actually with the leftists on this one. Liberals hate this because they think you're complimenting Trump by saying this. I don't think that's it. Because humor isn't really about good things. It's about bad things. Order is not funny. Justice is not funny. Things going according to plan and everybody being rational and nice to each other is not funny. Chaos is funny. Injustice is funny. Greed and lies and venality are funny. And obviously Trump is all those things. He is corrupt, authoritarian, avaricious, narcissistic, detached from reality. And those things in and of themselves don't necessarily make them funny. But the thing is, I think he's just self-aware enough that he knows he's all those things, and he's proud of them. And that's funny. To me, he is funny precisely because he is so transparently corrupt. I see Trump as being a lot like a Groucho Marx character. If you ever saw Groucho Marx do the bit where he was like, "Who are you going to believe? Me or your own eyes?" And early in his first term, I'm remembering some of his greatest hits now. Early in his first term, they were investigating him for something or other, and he was defending it, and he was saying it was all very legal and very cool. And that phrase, very legal and very cool, I mean, that definitely cracked me up. And there was also like some saber rattling with Kim Jong-il in North Korea at the time. Kim was calling him a senile old man or something like that, and he responded. This is probably my all-time favorite Trump bit. We were saying, like, why would Kim Jong-il insult me by calling me old? I would never call him short and fat. I try so hard to be his friend. Maybe one day it will happen. And it's like, is Regina George from Mean Girls the president of the United States? And, when you ask people who like him, the MAGA people, they'll say, well, he tells it like it is. And this is, of course, completely untrue. He does not tell it like it is. But I think what they're picking up on is he's telling us who he is. And there's a difference between honesty and authenticity. For whatever reason, I think the American electorate cares more about authenticity than it does honesty, and that reason is probably that they're stupid. I'll make no bones about that. Trump is not honest. but he is authentic. I mean, he lies constantly, but he shows you what a liar he is. J.D. Vance recently said, that's what kind of got me thinking about some of this, he said if Watergate had happened under Trump, it wouldn't be a big deal. And he was right. Because Congress wouldn't do anything, the courts wouldn't do anything, the media would bitch about it, but they would be powerless. And he doesn't hide anything. The man is constantly confessing to felonies. I mean, just, again, going back to like his first 90 days in office, by having foreign diplomats stay at his hotels, properties that he owns. I mean, he's taking, taxpayer money, federal funds, and he is funneling it to his own business. I mean, that alone, that's an impeachable offense right there. But like, he acts like there's nothing wrong with it. I don't know if he even fully understands there's something wrong with it, and everybody just kind of goes along with it, or his people do anyway. So yeah, the man is constantly confessing to felonies. Just the other day, he was talking about his crypto stuff, and he's like, I'm getting rich off this. Everybody's getting rich. My sons, my son-in-law, we're all in the crypto. We're all in the crypto. And it's like, blatantly admitting that he is enriching himself through the office. And if Watergate happened under him, he'd be completely transparent about it. And he would try to get his people on his side, because they're already on his side. But he'd just be like, we broke into the hotel so we could get the files. Like, as if that would be the explanation. It's like, so we could get the files, and this is so, the FBI and the CIA, I'm going to use them to spy on the Democrats, because I got to spy on the Democrats, right? This is not to say that his kind of funny is the only kind of funny. There are many different kinds of funny, and we've had other funny presidents. Barack Obama. He was a literary guy. He was a sophisticate. He was witty, and I would say Joe Biden. I would say Joe Biden was very funny. I think underrated. I love the way Biden would be like, "Listen here, Jack." And I think one of Biden's all-time great moments was, when somebody was asking him, well, how many genders do you think there are? And Biden, he's an old man, but he's a progressive guy. But he was trying to give the like properly woke answer, even though he probably like would have to have some of it explained to him by somebody younger. But he'd be like, at least 3, and like at least 3. That was a good answer. That was a good progressive answer. And when they pressed him on it further, he was like, "Don't play games with me, kid." And the thing about guys like Obama and Biden, they had a sense of the absurd, whereas Trump actually is the absurdity. Now, if you ask me what kind of funny I prefer, I would much rather have the guys who have the sense of the absurd and have the ability to call it out without embodying it. And that is the kind of funny that I miss.